Dear learners, welcome. Let's start the discussion on literary form, that is epic. Um, we have discussed about some literary forms in the last classes. Now in this class, epic, introduction and development. Epic or heroic poem is a long verse narrative. The very important characteristic of epic is its long verse, and the subject is very serious and it has a formal style, and it has to be elevated in style as well. It has to be centered on a heroic or quasi divine figure whose actions depends the fate of a tribe, nation, or the human race. The quality of epic itself is epic, right? It has epic quality, means quasi divine figure should be concentrated as a central figure there. And two categories of epics we can find in the literature. Yes, number one is traditional epic. That is, a traditional epic can also be called as folk epics or primary epic, originally in oral form about a national hero during warlike ages. Yes, the best example is Ramayana, Mahabharata. It was oral and it was written later. Iliad and Odyssey are the best example, but Greeks ascribed these epics to Homer. Actually, Iliad and Odyssey were traditional epics. These were in oral form, as we guess. But Greeks ascribed those epics to Homer, means Homer has written those epics. Beowulf in the Anglo-Saxon period in the England, that is also called as epic. Chasson de Roland of French, means belongs to France country, that is also an epic. And Poema del Cid of Spanish, yes, and Nibelungo Light of German, and Mahabharat in Sanskrit, and Ramayana as well in Sanskrit, ascribed to Vyasa and Valmiki Maharshi, are the finest traces of the epics. Okay, epics, as you can see there, traditional epics. Now, literary epics means it has to be written by some particular person, composed by individual poetic craftsmen, and example is Virgil's Aeneid. Let us begin from the Greek. There we can find Virgil's Aeneid and Paradise Lost by Milton, the best one and the only beautiful epic in English literature. And there are many, but it is called as a masterpiece. Paradise Lost by Milton is a great epic. Hyperion, a small fragmentary by Keats, right? It's also an epic, and the epics is only second rank to tragedy, as Aristotle rightly noted out. After tragedy, according to Aristotle, that's very important. According to Aristotle, epic stands second to tragedy. Tragedy, he gives tragedy to first rank. Epic makes immense demand of poet's knowledge. To write an epic, it's not so easy. Yes, we should have a grand style. We should have a grand figure appear in it. We should have a grand background structure. That is how knowledge of the poet is very important, immense important, and the skills to sustain the scope of grandeur and authority of its learning needs to write a epic. Let us discuss some features of epic. It means what makes a piece of work or piece of literary art an epic. Okay, that is how features we call it. From the point of view of Homer's epics, we are going to keep Homer's epics in the background to consider a piece of work as an epic. The following features are evident. First one is the hero is a figure of great national or even cosmic importance. Cosmic means galaxy level, right? Very important in the world, like that. In Iliad, Achilles is in Paradise Lost, and in Paradise Lost, Adam and Eve are of great national or great important figures. That is called protagonists, or we may say heroes, right? The setting of the poem is ample in scale, means it has to be wide, grand, ample, and maybe worldwide or even larger. For example, the setting in the Paradise Lost goes from earth to heaven. There is no bound at all, there is no limit at all. And the action involves extraordinary deeds in battle. Action in Paradise Lost as well as in Virgil's Aeneid, Chills in Trojan War, great pack of actions there. Let us consider some more features. Its action might also be a journey which has to be arduous, long, or danger, the wanderings of Odysseus in that category of epic. And in Paradise Lost, it's a revolt in heaven by the rebel angels against God. That's a great type of action we can even imagine in our dreams as well. And the journey of Satan, who tries outwit God by corrupting mankind. That is the story, that is the gist of that epic. That Satan tries to outwit God by his trick of making mankind corrupt. Mankind is the creation of God, right? In the great actions, the gods or other supernatural beings take an extra interest or an active part. In the epic, the Olympian gods in Homer, the Jehovah in and Christ in angels, and the angels in Paradise Lost are to be noted great actions, right? An epic is a ceremonial performance and is narrated in a ceremonial style. The performance as well as style must be ceremonial, means it has to be very high scope, very wide scope, very beautiful, very amazing, very grand, like that. The grand style of Paradise Lost by Milton. Milton's Paradise Lost, if you read, it has a grandiose style. Really amazing sublimity we can find in that Paradise Lost, right? Some great epics to keep in mind, some epics to consider. Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, great epics we can consider. Milton's Paradise Lost, as we have been discussing about it. Paradise Lost is the great piece of work in the history of English literature. Yes, and Keats' Hyperion as well. William Blake's prophetic books, The Four Joas, Milton, Jerusalem by William Blake, also considered some epics. Dante's Divine Comedy, yes, Spenser's Fairy Queen, it's also a nice piece of work. Divine Comedy is again the masterpiece. Some prose fiction epics are also there on the basis of scale and scope. On the basis of a wide scale and the area, the style it covers can be considered. Some prose fictions also considered as epics. Herman Melville's Moby Dick. It's actually a novel, but in the scale it can be considered as an epic scale. It is called epic scale. Moby Dick, it's a story about a fish. Moby Dick is the name of a great grand whale, a white male whale. Really amazing story about a whale there. Please try to read. In this novel, Moby Dick is not only a fish, it's a hero, it's a villain, it's everything in there, right? Leo Tolstoy's War and Peace, no words at all. Okay, look at the contrast concepts mingling each other, war and peace. How? Yes. Now, James Joyce's Ulysses is again a great piece of work, can be considered as an epic scale or epic in prose. You can refer these some books about epic. Uh, there you can learn much more about epic. Thank you very much for listening. Okay, keep reading, keep watching. Thank you very much.